The Washington Wizards are brewing something up big for this offseason, not at the trade deadline, as their biggest move in Tre Young is more than likely done, and the rest of the moves that we see are more than likely going to be smaller moves from sources around the league, reports that have come out from The Athletic, from myself as well, from what I've heard. But that doesn't mean they're not going to try to land a big fish in the offseason through free agency, as there have been reports coming out that the Wizards are going to make a significant offer for Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler this offseason in free agency. And there's some limitations going into this that we're going to break down in today's video regarding Kessler, the odds he's going to end up in Washington if there's actual interest from the team in him. But this report really does signify something changing in DC, as if they do go after Kessler and get him, this is a sign that the Wizards are ready to compete in the East and make the playoffs once again with their young squad in the DMV. Before we get into all that though, quick word from today's sponsor, Kalshi. Kalshi is an online trading app that you can use today in all 50 states here in the United States, and you can trade on real life events such as news, politics, and even sports. With the Super Bowl coming up, you can even trade on that. Right now, 67% of users on Kalshi are saying that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. Going to school in Boston, going to school in New England, I'm not a big fan of the Patriots, but since I went there, I kind of have to say the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. So I would trade on the Patriots to win it, as right now it looks like good odds for you to make some money saying that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. You can go ahead, use our code DIGESTNBA, DIGEST on Kalshi to get $20 for free on your first $100 that you trade on the app. Go ahead, download Kalshi today and start trading on real life events. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into talking about Walker Kessler here and the odds that he's going to end up on the Washington Wizards. So this was first reported by Tim McMahon before it's got out to a bunch of aggregators, and I reported on it. But right here, as we can see, per Tim McMahon on ESPN 700, and he's talking about the Jazz here, are optimistic Walker Kessler will be back in Utah, and they have final say due to his restricted free agency. The word around the league is the Wizards are faring to make him a significant offer, though. So as you can see there, that's the word around the league. They're faring to make him a significant offer. They want him, and it doesn't surprise me that the Wizards would want Walker Kessler either, as there are a few reasons that go into this. Alex Sarr struggles to rebound. That's a big reason right there. Getting Kessler would help him out a ton down low, whether that's starting alongside him or more in a backup role for Kessler coming off the bench as a six man right there. The team struggles rebounding wise and fighting for boards. That, getting Kessler would help out. The draft as well. If they get DeBonce or Boozer, that'll also help him out, getting some boards as well. And the second unit, it would also help him out having a great great post player and Kessler down low, even pairing him alongside Tre Young as well, having him as a big body as a screen, then throwing him up for some lobs on the pick and rolls or even some nice little bounce passes here and there. That'd be awesome as well. The offensive scheme, it would go up immensely. The defensive pressure, it would go up immensely as well, as you have arguably two of the top 5 best shot blockers in the league, and Sarr and Kessler on the same team. So it would instantly make them, I wouldn't say like a threat, but a playoff team in the East for sure if they go get Kessler and a top 3 pick in this draft here. I wrote about some of the stuff as well for reasoning over on Wizards on SI. You can check it out as well. This is just talking about like the report itself, talking about him and you make him a significant offer. And I talk about how the Spurs Wizards not planning to make a star-studded signing, but rather land a fish that can prove big numbers. And so as you can see right there, boom, this is going to be huge for him. This is going to be huge. All right. The Wizards kind of need Kessler. They, I wouldn't say like it's an absolute necessity that they go after him and get him, as there are some other players that they can target in free agency as well that will be available. But if they can get Kessler, it is going to be huge for him. It would be huge for the Wizards to go after and get Walker Kessler. This is when I was talking about like what an offer could look like for Kessler. A reasonable offer for the big man would be a 4-year deal on $100 million total. That is a $25 million salary each season. It may seem like a ton of money, but as I've talked about in the past with Tre Young extensions coming up, his value would be around $20 million a year. The proposed deal would be 16% of the salary cap. When we talk about signings and the salary cap, you always got to look at it in percentages and not by the dollar value. This is 16% of the salary cap. With the cap set to continually increase, that deal could go from 16 to 12% in his final season on the contract. It is a good deal for a great role player who can provide valuable minutes. If Washington truly has a chance to sign Kessler, then that should be their top priority in free agency. Like it was mentioned, though, Kessler is a restricted free agent. So no matter what, the Jazz get the final say in where Kessler goes. If the Wizards are offering him $25 million for each year, $100 million salary, and the Jazz and Danny Ainge are gonna be like, look, that's too much. Go ahead and take him. That's fine because the Wizards are going to have cap space to go after and sign Kessler. These are some stats that he's been putting up as well. As you can see here, he's a good player. These are, for across his total career real quick. In his rookie season, 9.2 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. Not bad whatsoever. His next season, played 64 games, started in 22 of them, 8.1 points, along with 7.5 rebounds and 2.4 blocks per game. He was, playing around the same minutes, played in less games, but was averaging a little bit more blocks per game. And then he finally became a full-time starter the year after that, last season, where he was averaging 11.1 points per game with 12.2 rebounds and 2.4 blocks per game. And then this past season, in the 5 games he played, only 14.4 points, 10.8 rebounds, 1.8 blocks. He was still on pace to put up another great season and really increase his value. But because of this injury, it decreased his value a little bit. And it's part of the reason the Jazz weren't really keen on trading him anymore, as that really cut his value down, where it's like, look, we kind of needed him to play. So if we did trade him, then it's one of those things where it's like, look, we get some pretty good value out of him for it. So that's what it is. He's also an efficient scorer, 72% his rookie season, 70% so far this season before he got injured, 66% last season. He's not a great three-point shooter, but the Wizards don't really need another three-point shooting big. They need someone that's going to be great on the boards, which Walker Kessler is. He's someone that's a great rim protector, which another thing the Wizards could use off the bench, along with a great backup center in case Sarr gets injured and you can start Kessler in his place. Or if you want to run double big, going against some bigger teams off the bench, you can have him go out there, pair him with Tre Young a little bit, Bub Carrington off the bench. That'd be a good pairing. The opportunities are endless adding Kessler to this team. Like I said, I know it sounds like a lot of money to sign him. 4-year, $100 million deal. That's kind of what I'm projecting for Kessler right now, is what the max he would make is. I don't see him as a $30 million player unless the Lakers just spend all their salary cap on him, which, it wouldn't surprise me if they did it, but it would surprise me regarding the Lakers, as they more likely want to go after big names than go after someone that can put up these productions in this kind of contract. They also got to worry about Austin Reeves, who has a player option for $13 million, and I'm pretty sure he's going to turn that down and try to go get the $35 million he can make on the market. So it comes down to, who do you want to keep? Austin Reeves, Walker Kessler? If I'm the Lakers, I'm probably more leaning to keeping Austin Reeves. Trying to get in their mind. The logical answer would be get Kessler, as Luka desperately needs a center. But no, the Lakers, they're probably going to go after Reeves and try to keep him as much as possible. So it might take the Lakers off the table right there, which leaves the only suitors really the Jazz and Wizards to get Kessler. If the Jazz don't want to pay over $20 million, but the Wizards will, then, Kessler's probably going to go to Washington. But if the Jazz are like, look, we want to keep him no matter what, we're just going to go ahead and keep him right here. Boom. And then if we want to talk about this, we can talk about a trade in the future for him right here. That's probably another situation that is going to happen. But right now, the only 2 teams I see Kessler ending up on in this offseason are either Washington or Utah. Those are the only 2 teams I really see this happening with. Utah could keep him. Utah could be like, look, we don't want to pay this money. Go ahead, Washington, take him. And I don't see the Lakers making him a significant offer, as they have a lot of players that they got to try to keep, especially Austin Reeves, who's looking like an all-star in the NBA right now. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about the team potentially adding on Walker Kessler to the squad this offseason, what you think he's personally going to make in free agency. That's all I got. See you guys in the next one. Peace.